Hello, welcome, and let's talk about AWS Lambdas. They are a fully automated way of running code in the vast AWS cloud. By fully automated, I mean you won't need to set up any configuration, operating systems, programs, whatsoever. Each incoming request will be allocated their own Lambda process, making Lambdas fully scalable. Let's get into it. I haven't been doing videos for a while because I was in Portugal and I started applying to jobs. I got interviews in London. I moved to London, started working here. It's been a lot of hassle. For my last company, I worked a lot with Lambdas, and in my new company, I've seen some other use cases of Lambdas, so that's why I really wanted to tell you about Lambdas. From Portugal, I have this Basi mug to remember the sunny beaches that weather. Oh, so nice. Let's jump to the Lambdas AWS Management Console. Let's jump into the Lambda service. It says, write code without thinking about servers. No servers at all. Let's create a Lambda function. Let's name it Pizza Factory, because we all like pizza. I'm so sorry if I just made you hungry. Node 8 permissions. Lambda will create a role, blah blah blah. Logs will go to CloudWatch. We could play around with roles for ages. Create function. So we just created a role so that the Lambda will be able to put its logs into the CloudWatch. Edit code inline. This is an inline editor in AWS console. We can use this to edit Lambdas. Some other languages that are not scripting languages we couldn't do this for, like Go. So we're training with Node.js for now. The third thing we define up here is handler. So we're defining the handler as index.handler. In Pizza Factory's index.js, we are exporting a function called handler. So that's what this is referring to. And this handler will be executed when the Lambda is executed. Let's test this Lambda handler. Up here on the right hand up corner we have the test button. Let's create a test event. Let's just call it test. Provide just the empty JSON, and now we can execute this test, which will execute this Lambda. And it says the response from the Lambda was status code 200, body, hello from Lambda. Return, let's see. This is Pizza Factory, so we'll return a pizza. And that will be, let's see, this UK keyboard is tripping me up. Pepperoni. Save, run the test. It returns pizza, pepperoni. What is the Lambda useful for? Currently, we're just running the Lambda manually in AWS console. That can be useful, but the Lambda is most useful when run with other services. For example, we could fire up an event anytime a database change is made and modify and handle the data in some hub. We're most interested in using the Lambda as an API backend. We previously talked about AppSync up here, but today we're using API Gateway instead because it's a slightly simpler way of creating an API, and we will create a RESTful API, or at least an API with API Gateway. Ahead we go to create an API with API Gateway. Clicking services and searching for API Gateway. API Gateway, get started. Okay. New API. API name shall be Pizza Factory. Create it. Actions. Let us create a method. Make it a get method, so we'll be able to get stuff from our API. Integration type Lambda function. Then we'll search for the Pizza Factory function. Save this. We will give the API Gateway permission to invoke our function. Now, here we're seeing a lot of API Gateway magic, which I will not care to explain because we're here to talk about Lambdas. What we will do is select this get resource, click action, deploy API, create a stage, let's call it dev stage, and deploy. It will give us an invoke URL. And clicking that, it takes us to our endpoint, API endpoint, where we get our pizza, pepperoni pizza, and going to the Lambda console. Moving my head out of the way, we can change the pizza, meatball pizza. Save it. Go back to the endpoint, load it, we get a meatball pizza instead. Those watching using a tiny screen, let's make it bigger. To better inspect what is happening, let us go to logs. Opening the management console, services, we open CloudWatch service. In CloudWatch service, go to logs, click on this Pizza Factory group, and we can see some log streams from previous invocations. Now, if we refresh this and invoke the Lambda again, we should see a new log stream coming up here. 1942. Opening that, we can see that the Lambda was started, and it will take some time to load the next lines. In the Lambda, let's make some changes to make it run for a little longer. Use the set timeout, give it a function, that's executed after 2 seconds, and in that function we call callback. Callback will get in here. We can alternatively return the response, or we can provide it using callback, and we won't have this being asynchronous now. Null, and the response. Alright, that should work. Save it. Let's go to the endpoint, refresh it, and it will take 2 seconds to load. It took 2 seconds to run. Okay, just for the fun, let's raise it to 4 seconds. and run it again. Now it's waiting. We get an error, task timeout. And also in the CloudWatch, we should see that error. Okay, it went to a new log stream. Task timed out after 3 seconds. Why is that? It's because by default our Lambda got timeout of 3 seconds. So whenever we run the Lambda, it will only run for 3 seconds and then it will die. And that's kind of good because when user is making a request and waiting for that response, they really don't want to wait for a lot of seconds, but I think 6 seconds might be more reasonable. Also in production we'd probably want to give it like 1 gig of memory. That also increases the CPU that the Lambda will get. Okay, running it again, we're now waiting for 4 seconds, getting meatball, and here we can see it took 4 seconds. We keep changing the Lambda, that's why it keeps creating new log streams. If we run the Lambda again, wait for 4 seconds, and again wait for 4 seconds, then we should see it all going to the same log stream. And here we have many invocations of our Lambda. However, if we refresh this 2 times, we should get 2 streams with this Lambda running in parallel. Alright, here the last one ran from 4819 to 4823, and on the other one it ran from 4820. The other one started at 4819, so this started second later, and then they ran in parallel and both returned. Try running this let's say 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I ran it 4 times in less than 4 seconds, which means that they all had to run in parallel, and we will have 4 streams here. Today we saw what a Lambda is, what it does, and how you can use it. In the future episodes you will see the realities of using it, what's good, what's bad. Maybe you should use it in other cases and not the others. See you later. Good night.